The graph below shows the number of points you earn in each level of a game. Which games, if any, have a proportional relationship between the number of points you earn and the level of the game? In which game can you earn the most points in level 2? And then explain your answer. Remember, taking a look at a graph, you must have a straight line that passes through your origin for it to be a proportional relationship. So when we take a look at game A, B, and C, we can see that game B does not go through the origin. So game B cannot be proportional. Therefore, games A and C are proportional. The next part of the question wants to know, in which game can you earn the most points in level 2? When you take a look at the graphs, if you go over to level 2 in graph A and go up to the line A, you can earn 100 points. In game B, if you go over to level 2 and up to the line, you can earn 150 points. In game C, if you go over to level 2 and up to the line, you can earn 200 points. So in game C, you can earn the most points in level 2. Number 13, a server at a snack shop uses the table below to find the total cost of frozen yogurt, but some of the numbers are worn off. The total cost is proportional to the number of cups of frozen yogurt. Find the missing numbers in the table. It's very important that this problem tells us that the total cost is proportional to the number of cups. And because it's proportional, we can use unit rate and ratios to fill in the missing table. We can take the ratio that we know, 4 cups to $18, and find the unit rate by dividing. So we can divide 4 into $18. I'm going to go ahead and bring my decimal up. 4 goes into 18 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. 18 minus 16 is 2, and bring down your 0. Then 4 goes into 20 5 times, and 5 times 4 is 20. 20 minus 20 is 0. But because we're talking about money, I need to make sure that I have 2 decimal places, so I'm going to add a 0 to the end. Based off my division, I can see that it cost $4.50 for 1 cup of yogurt. Now that I know how much it costs for 1 cup, I can then find how much it costs for 2 cups and 3 cups by multiplying $4.50 times 2, which gives me $9, and $4.50 times 3, which gives me $13.50. Michael says that the difference between Danny and Raj's age is always the same, so Raj's age is proportional to Danny's age. Is Michael correct? And explain. When you take a look at the table below, you can see the ratio of Danny's to Raj's age on any given year. When we look at our first ratio of 5 to 10, we know that 5 divided by 10 equals 2. 10 divided by 5 equals 2. When we look at the second ratio, 15 to 10, 15 to 10 has a ratio of 3 to 2, which is not the same thing as their ages in 2010. So no, it's not proportional. And it wants us to explain why. We know that it's not proportional because they don't have equivalent ratios. And we found that they don't have equivalent ratios by dividing. Paige works in an art store to sell square pieces of canvas that are 5 squares to choose from. Part A wants us to make a table to show the perimeter for each square of canvas and use the formula P equals 4S. Then it wants us to draw a graph to compare the length of the side of a square to its perimeter and use the table and graph to explain if it's proportional or not. So first, let's make a table. The table is going to compare our side length and our perimeter. And we know that our side lengths are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 based off of the table given us in the problem. Then we know, using that formula for perimeter, how to find the perimeter. So for each side length, we're going to take that formula and substitute the length in for S. For example, the first one, P equals 4 times 1, because our side length is 1. 4 times 1 is 4, so the perimeter is 4. For a side length of 2, P equals 4 times 2, which is 8. So when the length is 2, the perimeter is 8. For a side length of 3, P equals 4 times 3, which equals 12. P equals 4 times 4, which is 16. And P equals 4 times 5, which is 20. Now that we have a table, we can use that table to create a graph to show if it's proportional. When you sketch a graph, you need to make sure that you have your X and Y axis labeled. We're going to label our X axis with the side lengths, and our side lengths go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And going up the Y axis is our perimeter. And because our perimeter goes from 4 to 20, I'm going to go up in increments of 4 so I don't have to have as many tick marks. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. And then I'm going to plot my points from the table. The first point is 1, 4, then 2, 8, 3, 12, 4, 16, and 5, 20. So now we want to use the table and the graph to determine if this relationship is proportional. Based off of the graph, we can see that it's proportional because it makes a straight line that goes to the origin. And if we look at our table and we divide our ratios, 4 divided by 1 is 4, 8 divided by 2 is 4, 12 divided by 3 is 4, 16 divided by 4 is 4, and 20 divided by 5 is 4. So yes, it's proportional because they have equivalent ratios equal to 4 over 1, and the graph is a straight line going through the origin. Let's look at another comparison. Part B wants us to also make a table and a graph, but comparing the area using the formula A equals S squared. So we're going to do the same thing, making a table, and we're comparing our side length, and this time we're comparing it to our area. Our side lengths are still the same, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then our area is different. We want to use the formula A equals S squared. So A equals 1 squared for the first one. Remember, 1 squared is 1 times 1, which is 1. For the next one, A equals 2 squared. which is 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And then area equals 3 squared. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 squared. 4 times 4 equals 16. And then 5 squared. 5 times 5 equals 25. Now we need to take that table and we need to graph it. So in the same way that we did in part A, we have our length going across the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this one going up the side, we're going to have our area. And we're going to, again, go up by 4 because our area goes from 1 to 25. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 30. And then plot the points. So the point 1, 1, we'll have to estimate. It's not going to be exact. The point 2, 4. 3, 9, 4, 16, and 5, 25. And it looks like it almost goes up in a straight line, but there's a slight curve to it. So when we take a look at the table and the graph, we can see that no, it's not proportional. Because they don't have equivalent ratios. And the graph isn't a straight line. The graph does go through the origin, but remember, it must be a straight line and go through the origin both.